Hey everyone, Sir Owen Disney here. It is Thursday and we're going to talk a little Impact Wrestling, and last night was the first Impact that was broadcast on its new night, which is Wednesday at 9 p.m. on Spike. And I can make an official announcement right now that I'm very happy to say. As of yesterday, it is official that TNA Impact will be remaining on Spike for the foreseeable future, at least until the beginning of 2015. If not longer. But unfortunately, I have some bad news, and that is the fact that the other night, earlier this week, Bully Ray actually had his last match for the company. So, if they don't re-sign him, you may have seen the last match for Bully Ray in TNA Impact. I hope that's not the case, because ever since he came in the TNA, Bully Ray has reinvented himself. He is a lot greater than anybody has ever dreamed he could be. He's one of the best pure heels on the roster, and he also rolls the babyface line just as well. And I've always been a big Bully Ray fan, always been a big Dudley Boyz supporter, and I always knew Bully could do something if they gave him a chance to run with a singles run, and he has done just that. Former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, he definitely knows what he's doing when it comes to a singles run, and I'm very happy he got one. And hopefully, if he does end up having to leave Impact, I hope someone, somewhere, picks him up so he can continue entertaining all of us out there. So yes, it's sad to hear that Bully Ray may not be in Impact any longer, and he joins a long list, including one of my personal favorite wrestlers, the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels, as well as Frankie Kazarian and AJ Styles, as well as Luke Gallows. So yes, I am. It's weird to call out those names, but not for me. If you know me, you understand why I called out those names. And all the other superstars that have left Impact Wrestling. But TNA is not going anywhere. TNA is not going down anytime soon, so yes, we will continue to get more action. And another thing I've not got a chance to talk about yet, a couple days ago, Davey Richards actually broke his leg. And it sounds to me like he has a diagnosis of between 4 to 6 weeks of when he could return. So he should be back in time for Bound for Glory. And I will state that he is being replaced in Japan right now with Tigre Uno, who I'll be talking about in a few minutes. So, it's interesting that I bring this up about Bully Ray because he's actually going to start the show. Let's talk Impact, shall we? Bully Ray comes out, smiling from ear to ear. Don't see this version of Bully Ray very often. He stops to lean into the ringside fans, kind of like how Chris Jericho used to do it back in the WCW Lionheart days. He says this is the best feeling in the world. The fans in the Manhattan Center start chanting TNA, TNA, TNA. Bully kept his promise to each and every one of the crowd in attendance, as well as each and every person in the wrestling world, that it wasn't just him, but it was all of us that put Dixie Carter through a table last week. But he wants to thank one guy specifically, and obviously, that's more than anyone else. See, Rick had his brother Scott, and Hawk had his brother Animal. But I got the best damn tag team partner in the whole wide world, my brother Devon. So Devon comes out. He says, it feels good to be back here in New York City. They are, of course, the best damn fans in the world today. Now, Dixie, she's gone. But let's get down to the business at hand. Here comes the Hardys. So Matt and Jeff come out. Everyone shakes hands. Everything's pretty much on the up and up at this point. Matt says it's been 12 years since we've been in the ring together. It's true. They want to congratulate 3D for being inducted in the TNA Hall of Fame. And they want to give us all a history lesson. Like, we created history in 2000 with the first ever tag team tables match. It changed the entire business. And Bully says, well, then we went to Anaheim, California and had a three-way ladder match and stole the show. In North Carolina, we put together tables, ladders, and chairs. And then Bully, of course, is like, has to one-up and says, you know what? Then we did it again in the Astrodome. So the fans start chanting, one more time, one more time, one more time. Seems like we're going to get that. So, basically, the fans want to see it one more time. 3D and the Hardys one last time here in the Manhattan Center. Jeff goes, I didn't paint my face for nothing. Apparently not. I'm extremely cool with it if you are. Challenge accepted. Main event tonight, one last time. The Hardys versus Team 3D. Great opening of the show. Really good nostalgic opening of the show. And I know this run in New York has been all about nostalgia, and I totally understand that. The ECW nostalgia leading to Dixie going through a table last week. And now we've got the old school nostalgia of the Hardys and 3D facing off one more time. I think it actually works really well. It really does. And for longtime fans that remember this, remember when this stuff was current, this actually is a new rejuvenation of this storyline, and I think it works quite well. We get Samoa Joe in the back, and he says he's here to reinvigorate the X Division. He says if you want to win, you have to be the best in the world. So we see the introduction of the building for the day, apparently, of Rockstar Spud, Ethan Carter III, and Rhino. And Rhino looks fine. Spud has got these, like, cotton swabs up his nose, and he's limping, and Ethan Carter III, of course, has his forehead bandage from when he got busted open by Bully Ray during the 8-man Hardcore War last week. So this is their arrival to the building. So, Eric Young and Bobby Roode are watching the footage of Dixie getting super bombed through the table. And Austin Aries walks up and basically says, "How are you doing, champ? How are you doing, champ?" Refers to himself as a former world champion. One piece of trash has been taken out, i.e. Dixie. MVP, Bobby Lashley, Kenny King. You guys are who we face tonight. Let's take out the garbage, boys. Interesting. We get our next match. It is a 6-man scramble between Low-Key, Manic, DJ Zima Ion, Tigre Uno, Homicide, and Crazy Steve. So we start midway through the match. Actually, normally I would start midway through the match, but a match like this, I had to actually go, not move for move, but I went a little bit more into it than I normally do. They started out, Crazy Steve and Tigre Uno. He ducks the clothesline. Uno slides through Tigre... Well, he slides through his own legs. It's not possible. Uno slides through Crazy Steve's legs. Waistlock, and Crazy Steve proves why he's not just called Normal Steve when he bites the hand that is trying to waistlock him. Steve with a drop toe hold on Uno comes off the ropes, and a very unique maneuver, a cross-body block to the back of the neck. Makes a cover 1-2, and Tigre Uno kicks out. Comes off the ropes, Zima Ion throws the knee up, and of course, Steve, turns around to see what happened. Uno goes for a backdrop suplex, float over, he lands on his feet, does Crazy Steve, ducks a wild swing from Tigre Uno, and Zima grabs the foot. Basically, Zima wants to make sure that Crazy Steve's not going anywhere further in this match, so he's trying to completely get him eliminated right off the bat, and he pretty much does so, because Uno catches him with a tilt-a-whirl, and it's turned into a La Renera into a facebuster. A La Renera, and not letting him go, just a La Renera into a facebuster. And he got up top, and he hits the Phoenix Splash, 1, 2, 3, and Crazy Steve is the first man eliminated. Obviously, this was Zima Ion's plan the whole time. So Manic comes in, goes for the double chicken wing, and it gets countered. A boot in, a wrist lock, double jump, and a nice Rana off that on Manic. So a leaping neckbreaker by Manic in the corner as we go a little bit further in the match. Goes for the double chicken wing, he elbows out of it, comes off the ropes, and eats a springboard missile dropkick to the back of the head. Double chicken wing, gutbuster, 1, 2, 3, and Tigre Uno is the second man eliminated. Low-Key comes in to face off with Manic. So Homicide comes in. So this is going to be fun. So Manic ducks double swing, and he does the Spider-Man, which basically gets stuck in between the top and middle ropes. DJ Zima Ion does a springboard missile dropkick onto both Low-Key and Homicide. This isn't going to bode well for him to try to face off with them himself. Manic goes with the double chicken wing. Zima elbows his way out, and Zima charges in with a head scissors and basically flips Zima into the buckle. It was interesting. He charges in, and he goes for a satellite, and instead of like swinging him around and cutting the bump that way, he basically flips him forward, and he hits the buckle. So he misses the charge. Zima rolls him up with the feet on the ropes, grabs the ropes for good measure. So basically, he's got the feet on the ropes, he's grabbing the ropes, and he gets the 3 right there. So Manic is now the 3rd man eliminated. So DJ Zima is left in the ring with Low-Ki and Homicide. He begs them off, begs them to stop. They go with a double whip, and Low-Ki with a spinning back kick, and then he does that heel kick to the back of the head. And it's really nice because we haven't seen Low-Ki and Homicide teaming up since the days of the Rottweilers in Ring of Honor. So it's really awesome that they're doing it in New York and in the Manhattan Center of all places, because I know this has happened before. So basically, Zima gets laid to rest with the Gringo Killer, and 1, 2, 3, DJ Zima Ion is eliminated. It is down to Homicide and Low-Ki as your final 2 participants. So Homicide hits the through the ropes, Tope con Hilo, and he knocks him into the rail. He tosses him in, flatliner to the middle turnbuckle, and he nails a vicious face wash. 1, 2, Low-Ki kicks out. He whips him in, it gets reversed, charges in with a forearm, and Low-Ki nails it. Goes for the whip again. He charges in, he misses the charge. Homicide goes for the Gringo Killer. Low-Ki on the ropes, trying to break it up that way. He flips over, nails the shotgun drop kick, key crusher, 1, 2, 3, and Low-Ki will be facing off with Samoa Joe last night, technically, since it is Thursday, on TNA Impact for the X Division Championship. So yes, this match already took place last night, but still, and I'll be talking about it next week, this is how that came down with Low-Ki beating Homicide to win the shot against Joe. So Joe and Low-Ki was last night at Hardcore Justice, and I'll talk about Hardcore Justice next week here on Pop, like I usually do. So Ethan Carter III shows up with Rhino and Rockstar Spud, and like I said, they're licking their wounds. Obviously, they look like they've been beaten to literally a bloody pulp. So he's got a black eye as Rockstar Spud, and he's a little bit, like, antsy. He's a little bit agitated. It looks like he wants to jump on someone. Like the Ricky Bobby thing. He's kind of like a spider monkey at this point. So Spud asks for a moment of silence. We're in New York. We're not going to get that. Last week was the biggest tragedy in the wrestling business when our queen, Madam Dixie Carter, was put through a table. We demand a moment of silence in respect, please. So Spud demands silence. So then he snaps as he hates everyone in the city, takes off his jacket, throws it on the ground, and they try to calm down Rockstar Spud. Ethan Carter III grabs the mic and says, "My aunt was viciously driven through a table, and all you can do is cheer. I have to request, nay, I demand, the immediate release of Bully Ray from Impact Wrestling." Wow, they really could turn this to a storyline if they wanted to. The actual terms are there if they really want to turn it into a storyline. They actually could. "I will not vacate this ring until he is terminated from this company." Here comes Kurt Angle, because obviously he's in charge. Angle comes out, he's like, "Shut up, you little twerp." Just stops him right dead in his tracks. He's like, you know what? This ain't Nashville anymore. It's New York City. These fans can say what they want whenever they want. And they can cheer whom they want whenever they want. See, you're wasting our time out here. So either you got 2 options. Number 1, you wrestle right now. Tonight you can wrestle, everything will be fine. Or number 2, get the hell out of the ring and let's continue with the show. So Carter takes offense and says, you know what, I spilled my blood last week, I'm not wrestling this week. And Angle's like, you know what, again, I warn you, you have 2 options. You either wrestle or you leave. So Carter isn't going anywhere. So Angle's like, well, you know what, I didn't know if that would scare you or not, but I got things that will, and he says, come out, boys, and the next thing you know, here comes the NYPD out to the ring. It's a whole lot like an ECW Angle from back in the day. So they get in the ring, Carter backpedals like, no, I didn't mean anything, I don't want to go to jail, And then Rockstar Spud is just like trash-talking the whole time, and he says, I'm not taking orders, and I have diplomatic immunity because I have a passport, and they just throw him to the ground and just put the cuffs on him right there and there. It's quite hilarious, actually. So Rhino gets cuffed and he's laughing. The only thing he's not doing is saying Attica at this point. So Carter's like, you know what? I know Donald Trump, and I know Bernie Madoff, and I also know Carmelo Anthony. I am Wall Street. I am the Wolf of Wall Street. Last time I checked, Ethan Carter III is not Jordan Belfort. So he throws money at the cops. So basically, you're trying to resist arrest, and you're trying to bribe an officer. This is not going to end well. And it doesn't, because they cuff Ethan Carter III, and they usher him out of the building. So, basically, they don't realize the whole thing. Anything you can say can and will be used against you in a court of law, because they keep running their mouth incessantly from time to time. And Rockstar Spud is basically like a firecracker at this point. It's quite hilarious. So, when they finally get brought out of the building, and the only thing missing from this is see Ethan Carter III with the little cup, like wrangling the bars of the jail cell, kind of like how the Mountie did at SummerSlam 91, also in New York City. It would make perfect sense if they did that. No, it didn't go that way. We actually went to our next segment, and that was Samuel Shaw talking to Gunner in the back. Obviously, Gunner is facing off against Mr. Anderson. Samuel Shaw says, you know what, this is all my fault. And Gunner's like, you know what, it's not your fault at all. Don't worry about it. When it comes down to it, Ken's just got to understand that you're a changed man now. I understand that, and soon he will too. So we get that. After this, we see the fans in the back, like literally in the X of the building, cheering as Carter, Spud, and Rhino are getting dragged out of the building in handcuffs. So Carter's trying to calm everyone. They get into a little area where they try to calm everyone, and Carter's like, you know what? That's fine. You guys want money? I can give you money. This is all, ha-ha, this is a nice little joke. Put it on Twitter or something like that. We can promote the daylights out of it. But no, obviously, still trying to bribe an officer. So this will not end well. And Carter's laughing it off, but then it's no joke, and the cops are serious, and they drag them out. This actually works really well in a lot of different ways. We get our next match, and it's something that I don't say very often when I'm talking about Impact Wrestling. I do say it every once in a while on SmackDown, and sometimes on Raw, but Impact, I don't say this very often. This is actually a match that kind of went nowhere. It was Gunner against Mr. Anderson. Crowd turned on it immediately. For the most part, it was a good back-and-forth catch-as-catch-can wrestling match. And pretty much, it just got ended when they started trading right hands, and then an overhand right. And then Samuel Shaw comes in, and he gets punched right in the face by Mr. Anderson. So, of course, he's not taking anything anymore, and he double legs Anderson, starts pounding away, so Gunner pulls them off, and this is continuing. The only thing this match did was continue the storyline between Mr. Anderson versus Gunner and Samuel Shaw. I don't have a problem with storyline continuing, is the word I'm looking for here. I don't have a problem with the storyline continuing. I just have a problem with the fact that the match just was kind of there. It kind of brought the crowd down a bit. I understand there's got to be a cool-down match every once in a while, and I guess in essence this was. But then again, there were a crowd that was chanting like Adam Rose theme, and no one chanted boring or anything that I recall, but they were like going a lot of WWE chants, so yeah. Come on, TNA, you're better than that. So Angelina's in the back, and she's trying to make nicey nice with Velvet because there's obviously a four-way with the Knockouts Championship on the line. It's coming up in a few. And basically, Velvet tries to set her straight. Like, you know what? One of us is walking out with the championship tonight. I'll see you out there. And she's like, one of us? Like, I thought you were trying to keep the title for me. You're not allowed to have a mind of your own. No, you have to be my puppet, and you have to do what I say. No. It looks like we're leading towards the breakup of the Beautiful People again, and another babyface run for Velvet Sky. So I don't have an issue with that, because I think Gail Kim is going to be quite tied up very soon, because another vignette was shown with another letter being shown, and even though I kind of blew the spot last week, sorry, there is an H, there is a V, and there is a K. There's not many letters that go into it. I've played Lingo numerous times. You know what? I kind of miss playing Lingo. That's a shout out to somebody that probably will never watch this video. But I still mean it. Now, I will say right now that I made a comment on who this person is. And this person coming into Impact is going to be the new Awesome Kong. This is Jessica Havoc. And for those of you that have seen her indie work, yeah, Jessica Havoc's nothing to mess with. She is just the real deal, and she's going to be quite a force to be reckoned with in Impact. And I really look forward to seeing Jessica Havoc and Gail Kim. It's a match that actually was a dream match for those of you out there that have watched any of Jessica Havoc's indie stuff. Like, they want to see her against Gail Kim, and it's finally going to happen. So, keeping the beautiful people facing each other makes perfect sense to me, because obviously Gail's going to be a little bit distracted with Havoc at this point. So, we get some footage from after they went off the air last week, and of course, Bully Ray is trying to get the fans to sing, and everybody starts saying, na 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 na, hey, 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 goodbye, and of course, Bully's like, no, I want to hear that song. So they have her sing Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead from The Wizard of Oz. Which is awesome, because, you know what, it brought me back to the Great Movie Ride. So, Dixie does a stretcher job, and apparently she got humble because she has a broken back, and she'll be on Impact to discuss her condition. I believe it was last night at Hardcore Justice. I didn't get a chance to watch it because I was kind of busy with some things, because we're really busy today. That's the reason the video is being shot so early, and it's the reason it's going to be getting up so early, because we're so busy actually Thursday, because there are 2 movies to watch and I also have work. So yeah, that's the reason why this video is coming out so early. So, Dixie talked about it at Hardcore Justice last night. So we get our next match. It is the Fatal 4-Way for the TNA Knockouts Championship. Gail Kim defending against Angelina Love, Velvet Sky, and Taryn Terrell. So we pick it up midway through, and Taryn with a flying body press on all 3 competitors from the top rope to the floor. Rolls her back in, Angelina Love, mind you. Rolls Angelina back in, 1-2, and a kick out. So she goes for, it looks like an ace crusher, but she gets tossed off, ducks the clothesline, and clothesline, boot in the midsection, comes off the ropes, and a side somersault neck breaker. Gail makes the save before the 3. So she goes for Eat Defeat. It gets countered. Flatliner connects 1-2 and a kick out. So Velvet makes a cover, 1-2 and a kick out. So the beautiful people argue about who's going to take the pin. And Taryn rolls up Velvet from behind, 1-2 and a kick out. And Taryn gets DDT'd, 1-2 and a kick out. So Angelina almost got a 2 right there. So the beautiful people basically trade off pinfall attempts, with one going over and the other one shoving her off, and one going over, one shoving her off. And they go back and forth, until Gail whips the beautiful people into the opposite corner and charges in with a clothesline on Velvet in the corner. And then Angelina shoves off the monkey flip opportunity and a boot in the midsection. Velvet trying to take it with in-yo face, and of course it gets stopped by Angelina because she doesn't want Velvet to win. And Taryn clotheslines both beautiful people. Gail with a boot on Velvet, hits the Eat Defeat, 1-2-3, and Gail Kim retains the Knockouts Championship. So yes, a really good back and forth 4-way match. I enjoyed this for what it was. And we're building, and very soon we're going to get Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell one more time. And it's going to be awesome. And of course, this is storyline building the end of the beautiful people again. So yes, I don't have a problem with this. I think it worked really well. So we run into the back, and this time MLK is there, and they don't care about what happened to Dixie. Kenny King gets off a really funny line. It says, she can buy herself a $1 million wheelchair. That old lady's rich. I thought that was funny. And basically MLK proved that they are not to be messed with. So speaking of them, they're in our next match. MLK, which, of course, if you don't follow Pop, welcome, by the way. It's MVP, the TNA World Heavyweight Champion Bobby Lashley, as well as the Kenny King. Taking on Austin Aries, Bobby Roode, and Showtime Eric Young. So we pick it up midway through, and Lashley with a vicious forearm on EY in the corner. EY slides through the legs and gets stopped by Lashley. He gets kicked off, and EY makes a tag to Aries. Kenny King ends up tagging himself in and leaping clothesline to Kenny King. Right hand, whip in, puts on the brakes. Aries gets backdropped over the top rope, lands on the ring apron, forearm, Senton Atomico and nails Lashley for good measure because he caught him sleeping on the apron. Kenny King nails him from behind and whips him in, ducks the clothesline, heat-seeking missile to Bobby Lashley on the floor, and Aries with a shoulder block catches him with a neck snap, goes up top, missile drop kick to Kenny King, and he charges in, he eats the boot, and he knocks EY off the ring apron for good measure. So Kenny King tags in Lashley. Lashley comes in, charges in, going for the MDK, and of course it gets countered into the last Chancery. Last Chancery is stopped by Kenny King attacking him from behind, and Kenny King nails the cartwheel kick on Austin Aries. Walks right into the double R spine buster from Bobby Roode, and MVP comes in with a clothesline of his own to Bobby Roode, stopping his momentum. So EY with a boot. Straight up pile driver on MVP, and we're going to finishers galore here. Lashley with the Dominator on EY, and Aries hits the discus elbow. He gets caught. Dominator, and of course, Aries shimmies down the back, lands on his feet, rolling elbow connects. IED on Lashley, going for the brain buster, but not this time. He goes up top. MVP nails Aries with the crutch, and Aries gets broken in half by the murder, death, kill, and that's the 3 right there. MLK win this 6-man. I like this. I like this match a lot, actually. I like the chemistry of all 6 men. Still playing up the fact that MVP is still hurt. He still comes to the ring on a crutch. So, for someone with legitimate feet problems, I understand what it's like to have something like that happen. But yeah, and I get that. I get it completely, and I think it works really well. You don't have sympathy for a heel. I mean, I get that. So when, of course, he ate the pile driver from Eric Young, everybody was like, yay! We beat up MVP, and MVP is like half a man right now, but half amazing. So there you go, right there. I wanted to throw that out there to go with his old catchphrase. So yeah, we're building towards Bobby Roode and Lashley for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Bound for Glory is my guess, and I think that that's the right direction to go. And, of course, Austin Aries and Eric Young want something with MVP and Kenny King, so it works well. This storyline works completely in all cylinders, and I think that it's going to easily continue. So the Wolves are in the back, and Davey Richards, of course, going to sit there and look ominous like he always does. Eddie Edwards basically makes the comment, he's like, you know what, you mentioned great teams like the Hardys, and Team 3D, and Beer Money. It's like, well, we beat the Hardys. I talked about it a couple weeks ago. And we want 3D. So, if they want a shot at these championships anytime, any place, we'll gladly give it to them. So, we're going to get the Wolves against 3D very soon. Wolves against Beer Money still needs to happen. And I'm not talking to one night only pay-per-view. I'm talking it needs to actually happen on Impact. So, I'd really like to see that match, actually. I'm not going to lie. Abyss comes out, and he's a little bit peeved, of course, because his girl's gone. And by his girl, I mean the bored Janice. He's holding his stomach from, of course, getting jabbed into his stomach during Monsters Ball last week. Or 2 weeks ago, technically. So, Abyss wants Bram out here and starts to yell at him and yell for him. And here comes Bram carrying Janice with Magnus in tow. Bram, possession is 9/10 of the law, which is coming from someone who used to play Joseph Park, so I thought that was hilarious. Give her back, though. Bram says she's all mine. See, she does it for me. It sends me wild every time I drive her into your chest. Yes, this got really uncomfortable real fast, folks. So Abyss goes, you know what, Bram, do you really want to get extreme? I mean, really extreme? Here in New York City, I propose one more match. There'll be tables, chairs, tacks, glass, barbed wire, and let's take Janice and hang her 15 feet high above that ring, and the first to get her has earned her love. And once I get Janice back, I promise you, Bram, I'm going to shred your ass to bits. It's going to be Stairway to Janice. Told you guys. Told you guys. Not even looking at storylines, without reading any spoilers, I knew this was going to have to build to a Stairway to Janice. And Stairway to Janice happened last night, and I really wish I could have watched it, but I'll be able to watch it in the next couple days, actually. So Bram accepts the challenge, and Magnus basically says that Janice has done nothing but screw him over and over again. So Magnus, of course, has to retort, says that's the first time that, yeah. So Abyss hits Magnus. tosses Bram. Magnus gets back in the corner. Abyss finally has Janice and stalking towards Magnus, who's basically backed up against the corner at this point. Bram from behind clips the leg and takes Janice back and just bombs out. And of course, Abyss has to get the last word and says, "I'm going to show you just what a bitch my girl can be." Stairway to Janice last night at Hardcore Justice. I'm really looking forward to seeing this. So we get Cowboy James Storm in a really interesting promo. He's in some sort of a farmhouse, like in the middle of nowhere, kind of like a compound. I like this James Storm storyline they're doing right now. He says, "The revolution is upon us." See, Sonata is tied to a stake at this point. He's basically tied up like you've seen the Cowboys and Indians like you've seen in movies. He's tied to a stake like this, literally. He's not on fire or anything, at least not yet, but he's tied to a stake. So yeah, he just has to stand there while James Storm calls him weak and confused and lost. Tells him to look into his eyes. You see glory, salvation, and revolution. I'm the light, I'm your strength, and I'll make you the great Sonata. And then says to leave. Your awakening begins now. Lights go out. We hear a blood-curdling scream from Sonata. God knows what James Storm's doing to him. And we fade to black. I really like this. I like the fact that James Storm is going to be the mentor of these X Division guys. I know it starts with Sonata, and I know there is one more, but I can't really talk about that yet. But yeah, somebody else that also has been underutilized in the division for quite a while. Yeah, that person is going to get a rebirth at the hands of the legend James Storm. I like this storyline. I love what they're doing with Storm here. And I know this is building towards a match at Bound for Glory. What I'm thinking right now is they do Kai and the Great Muta against Cowboy James Storm and Sonata at Bound for Glory. And I think that's the right direction to go. If they don't do it before Bound for Glory, it's got to happen at Bound for Glory. I know there's tapings left that they were taped in August in New York. And I also know that there are tapings in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania that are coming up in September. So next month. So until then, we don't know what's going to happen. But if it's not blown before then, I think that's a perfect match for Bound for Glory. And then, and only then, I will state right now, TNA in 2015, James Storm, TNA World Heavyweight Champion again. Mark my words, it does happen again. So it's main event time. 3D against the Hardys one last time. Hardys come out looking normal. Normal, see what you would see. Matt Hardy looking like he did in Ring of Honor. Jeff Hardy, face paint, everything. Still wearing the Dayglow colored Under Armour and the pants. Same thing. 3D comes out. Wearing camo. We're in Dudley, legitimate Dudley Boys gear. With the word Dudley is crossed out, not really crossed out, but it's covered up. And Bully actually did utilize it really well because the word Dudley was covered up by the word team. So it works at Team 3D. It made perfect sense. Devon, on the other hand, it just was a yellow stripe across where it should have said Dudley on it. So yeah, these are old school Dudley Boys gear and wearing the 3D boots as well. So that's something we haven't seen in quite a while. So yeah, they're Dudlified for this match. It wasn't a word, it is now. So, we pick it up midway through the match. Jeff whips him in. Well, Bully whips him in. Jeff tip up and over, into a head scissors on Bully Ray. Inverted atomic drop. Tag into Jeff. Oh, tag into Matt. Jeff drops the heels on the midsection while Matt drops the leg drop. Makes a cover 1-2 and a kick out. Matt tags Jeff back in, double whip, Poetry in Motion connects, and then a Devon clothesline on the Hardys is ducked. Whip in, sets up Poetry in Motion again, but this time Jeff gets pulled back by his hair by Bully Ray. So Devon nails Matt from behind. 3D wishbone Jeff Hardy. So he's punching away on Hardy in the corner. And Devon with a snap bear, driving elbow off the ropes, 1-2, and a kick out. So he goes for the chin lock. Matt elbows his way out, comes off the ropes, gets on the middle turnbuckle, dives off, and Devon clotheslines him 1-2, and a kick out. Devon tags in Bully, and an axe handle to the lower back, dive bombs the lower back, and drags him into the corner, stops where he is, drops 3 elbows, and tags in Devon. Devon drops the fist, and an overhand right to Jeff when he gets back up, Reverse neck breaker to Jeff connects, 1-2, and a kick out. Devon tagged Bully in, 3D have cut the ring off. So he whips him in, he ducks his head, and Jeff kicks Devon in the face. Bully ducks the wild swing, pick up, and 3DB, which is the backdrop suplex reverse neck breaker combo they used to use. It was their finisher in the SmackDown video games, actually. Their secondary finisher as a tag team. Jeff's caught in a bear hug, and is turning to a side bear hug momentarily. Jeff elbows his way out, comes off the ropes, and Bully catches him with a high back body drop. Bully goes to the middle turnbuckle, gets caught with a right hand, he climbs up, Hardy with a Hurricane Rana right off the top, 1-2, and a kick out. Bully tags out to Devon, hot tag to Matt. Matt comes in, right hand, clothesline, charges with the clothesline in the corner, Bulldog, 1-2, Devon kicks out. So he drop kicks Bully's knees out from under him, and of course, this knocks him off the ring apron, goes chest first into the ring apron. So Bully's out of this momentarily. Devon gets nailed with a side effect, 1-2, and kick out right before 3. So Devon gets dragged to the corner. He goes up top, does Matt, goes for the moonsault, does connect. Bully drops the elbow on Matt and makes the save right before the 3 goes down. So Jeff knocks Bully to the ring apron, a boot in, and then Matt forearms knocking Bully to the floor. So Devon clotheslines Matt, Jeff ducks the clothesline, charges in, eats the back elbow, Jeff goes up, gets crushed upside down by Devon, climbs up, Matt puts Devon on his shoulders, and Jeff hits a whisper in the wind while Matt is having Devon on his shoulders, so it's basically a whisper device. 1-2, and Devon somehow kicks out. So they put Devon on the buckle, both Hardys climb up, you know this is going to end badly right here. Bully nails Jeff from behind, tosses him off, picks up Matt on his shoulders, and we hit Doomsday Device from 3D, 1-2, and kick out. So Jeff charges in, eats the flapjack from 3D, knocking Jeff literally onto his partner. So Jeff gets flapjacked onto Matt. Bully with a scoop slam, Devon heads up top, they hit the What's Up headbutt on Matt, Devon get the tables, he goes to the floor, they get the table, poetry in motion on 3D, to the floor mind you, and Jeff tosses Devon in. Twist of fate to Devon, Jeff rips off his shirt, and of course the females in the crowd go nuts for it, and Swanton connects, 1-2 by Matt, and Devon kicks out. So Matt goes for the twist again, gets tossed off, 3D out of nowhere on Matt Hardy, 1-2-3, and 3D have defeated the Hardys one more time in New York City. The match is over. Bully and Devon help up the Hardys. They shake hands, they hug, they all 4 raise their arms in the air, and that's how we go home to end Impact from last week. Really great nostalgia match. I enjoyed this. This is what tag team wrestling is all about. And I know what you're saying, oh, and this was many, many years ago, this would have been relevant. No, this is relevant now because everyone has advanced a lot further in their careers. Obviously, Matt Hardy got clean, Jeff Hardy got clean, Bully Ray's in the best shape of his career, and Devon is jacked now in better, more ways than he's ever been in his entire career. I'll say right now, I really enjoyed this match. I've been a huge fan of the Hardys and Dudleys matches over the years, and I really enjoyed this last and latest installment of Hardys versus 3D this time down the line. I really look forward to seeing 3D against the Wolves. I know it's going to be a really good match. I really wish we could have gotten a better feud with them and Beer Money. I really wish that Beer Money could be interjected in this, but I understand that you're doing completely different things with James Storm. He's kind of a messiah right now, basically, if you want to look at it from that perspective. And then, of course, you got Bobby Roode, which has his hands full with Lashley, so you can't really put Beer Money together again right now. You can do it for like a Joker's Wild Turn if you want to do that, but that's kind of a cop-out. I would say put them together. It'd be awesome. I want to see the Hardys against Beer Money. That'd be great. But yeah, that's what we had for Impact last week. Very enjoyable show. I enjoyed every second of it. I will say right now, what I'd say to check out the 6-Man Scramble. It was really good. I liked when it got down to Low-Key and Homicide. Can't wait to see them singles in the ring, and I know it's going to happen soon. I will say right now that I recommend the 4-way for the Knockouts Championship. That was good. The 6-man with MLK against Rude, Aries, and Young. That was good. And I definitely recommend the Hardys and 3D one last time. Good stuff. Good stuff from Impact. Great stuff from TNA lately. I don't care what anybody says. TNA has actually been running on all cylinders lately, and I've loved every second of it. So next week we're going to talk Hardcore Justice. Wrestling fans, join me later this weekend. We're going to be talking NXT and SmackDown. Next week, we're going to talk about Raw. And we'll go back next week, we'll talk about Impact. So I will figure out what we're going to do with the dates. And I think TNA is going to be a day late every week. That's what I'm looking at right now. I actually could be watching it in a few minutes. Spoiler alert. But I couldn't watch Hardcore Justice last night. So hopefully I'll be able to watch it, I will say probably Friday after we get the filming done. Because obviously I need to throw out a scheduling announcement real quick. This is Thursday's video, and hopefully we will get an announcement of Halloween for Halloween Horror Nights 24 in Orlando. That's what we're hoping for. Fingers crossed before the night's over we get one. If not, we wait till next week and we actually get our final announcement legitimately the same way they did Resident Evil last year and the 29th of the month. And then we get our final site reveal, even though Hollywood's already gotten theirs. But that's on the line right now. So tomorrow, AJ's movie reviews, we're going to be talking about Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, as well as If I Stay and When the Game Stands Tall. On Saturday, AJ and myself are going to Athens. We're going to be watching A Most Wanted Man, Magic in the Moonlight, and What If? And that is coming to next week's video. It's actually going to be on there with As Above, So Below, and The November Man, so that'll be next week's video. Saturday, Ashley, who challenged me to the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, and challenge accepted, sir. That video is up on Pop right now if you want to check that out. It was from yesterday if you want to see that. You want to see me get water dumped on me by myself, even though I don't like water. I did it for charity, and you should too. So that was taken care of, and Ashley, we're bringing you a gaming segment tomorrow, well, Saturday, and then Sunday, of course, brand new verses. We're going to talk about the outdoors. And it sounds like we're going to be ending with animation for the last verses of August. I don't know yet. I haven't talked to AJ to find out if we're going to or not. That may actually have to be put in the can for later on. So, that's what we got right now, and hopefully you guys and girls out there are enjoying Impact right now. I know this doesn't hit as much as some of the other videos on this channel, but you out there that are watching this video, thank you out there for supporting TNA and supporting Impact Wrestling like I have throughout the years, and I will continue to do so until the door shuts for the final time. Just like the last episode of Cheers, once the lights go out, I'll be one of the last ones to leave, without a doubt. So, that being said, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, help spread the word about Pop. If you haven't yet, go to Facebook, click like on that Facebook fan page. It is Sir Owen Disney Pop on Facebook. Send me your friend request on Facebook, it's Owen Disney. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's at Sir Owen Disney. Last but certainly not least, if you want to send your thoughts, comments, queries, and opinions, you want to talk TNA with me, you want to talk WWE with me, wrestling in general, you want to talk about Disney, Universal, Halloween Horror Nights. If you want to become a Popcast yourself, you can send your content on this channel to siroandisney@gmail.com. In the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I gotta say about that.